A whisper in the night, a shadow that moved just out of sight. Our first story revolves around a host who was not what they seemed. Imagine the thrill of escaping the hustle and bustle of city life, deciding to take a much-needed breather in a quaint cabin nestled deep within the woods. A couple, drawn by the allure of the great outdoors, felt a surge of excitement as they rented this secluded haven for a weekend getaway. The cabin, rustic and charming, promised a peaceful retreat, a place where time could stand still and the worries of the world could be momentarily forgotten. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with hues of crimson and gold, the couple's initial joy began to dissolve into an unsettling unease. You see, something was amiss in their temporary woodland home. The cabin, which once felt inviting, now seemed to harbor a sinister secret. As the evening progressed, they discovered hidden cameras strategically placed throughout the cabin, an insidious invasion of their privacy that sent a shiver down their spines. The realization dawned upon them. Their host was not just a friendly face on a rental website, but a voyeur, watching their every move from an unknown location. The walls of the cabin, once comforting, now felt suffocating, as if the very wood and stone were complicit in their host's disturbing surveillance. The couple, gripped by a fear that turned their blood to ice, managed to maintain their wits. They quickly packed their belongings, their hearts pounding like the beat of a desperate drum, and made a hasty retreat from the cabin. Their dream of a peaceful weekend had morphed into a nightmare, their sanctuary transformed into a stage for a stranger's twisted performance. The couple managed to escape unscathed, but the chilling memory of being watched will forever haunt their dreams. And so, dear listeners, we are reminded that not all that glitters is gold, and sometimes the most charming facades hide the darkest secrets. Our next tale of terror is set in an old city apartment, where the line between the living and the dead was blurred. Imagine this. You're a solo traveler, eager to immerse yourself in the rich history of an old-world city. You're drawn to an apartment listed on Airbnb, nestled amidst the city's ancient architecture. The pictures show a quaint and charming abode, and the price is right. It seems like the perfect choice. You arrive and settle in, diving headfirst into the city's vibrant culture by day. But when the sun sets, things take a turn for the uncanny. As darkness envelops the city, an unsettling vibe begins to seep through the apartment's age-old walls. You chalk it up to jet lag, or perhaps the unfamiliar surroundings, but the feeling is hard to shake. Then, the noises begin. Soft at first, the sound of something scurrying in the walls. You tell yourself it's just an old building settling. But then, the whispers start. Hushed voices that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. The words are indistinct, but the tone is clear. They're not friendly. You're not one to scare easily, but the objects that start moving on their own are enough to send a chill down anyone's spine. A cup slides off the table, a chair creaks as if someone just stood up, a picture frame tilts on its own. It's as if the apartment itself is alive, and not entirely pleased with your presence. Sleep becomes a luxury, the nights filled with a growing sense of dread. You consider checking out early, but a part of you is drawn to the mystery. You decide to dig a little deeper, and that's when you stumble upon the chilling revelation. You discover that the apartment has a history, a dark past that was conveniently left out of the Airbnb listing. It's rumored to be haunted, the site of several unexplained incidents over the years. The whispers, the moving objects, the unsettling vibe. It all makes sense now. The locals tell you about the previous tenants who left in a hurry, spooked by the inexplicable occurrences. Some even speak of a shadowy figure that roams the apartment at night, a remnant of a long-forgotten past that refuses to rest. You leave the apartment earlier than planned, but not without a story to tell. You've had your share of travel adventures before, but this one stands out. A chilling tale that transcends the usual tourist experiences. It's a story you'll share around campfires and dinner tables, a stark reminder of the time you stayed in a haunted Airbnb. The traveler left the apartment with a spine-chilling tale to tell, a tale of a haunted Airbnb that they will never forget. In our final story, a seemingly perfect Airbnb turned into a nightmare when an unexpected roommate made an appearance. Picture this. A group of friends, all eager to escape the humdrum of daily life, decided to rent a beach house for the weekend. The pictures online showed a charming little house with a breathtaking view of the ocean. They imagined the sound of waves lulling them to sleep, the salty air refreshing their spirits. Little did they know, their dream vacation was about to turn into a spine-chilling ordeal. Upon their arrival, they were greeted by the warm sun, the pristine beach, and the cozy house they had seen in the pictures. But as the day turned into night, they felt something off about the place. It was as if they were not alone. The feeling grew stronger as the night wore on, but they dismissed it, attributing it to their overactive imaginations. Just as they were settling down for the night, they heard a strange noise coming from the next room, the sound of shuffling feet and muffled voices. With their hearts pounding, they approached the room, only to find a man they had never seen before. He introduced himself as a roommate, someone who was supposedly living in the house. He claimed that he had been living there for months, and the friends were intruding in his space. Despite their protestations and attempts to show him their Airbnb booking, he refused to leave. The man was adamant, insistent that he was the rightful resident of the house. The friends were terrified. They were in a strange town, far from home, with a man who refused to leave their vacation rental. They felt trapped, their dream vacation turning into a nightmare before their eyes. They called the police, who arrived shortly after. But to their shock, the man produced a lease agreement, claiming his right to the property. The friends were dumbfounded. How could this be? They had booked the place through a reputable site. They had spoken to the host. Everything seemed legitimate. As the night wore on, the friends were forced to spend the night in the same house as the man, their fear amplified by every passing hour. Despite the presence of the police, they couldn't shake off the feeling of dread that hung over them. They felt like intruders in their own rental, their vacation spoiled by a stranger who claimed to be a roommate. The next morning they left the house, their vacation cut short by the terrifying ordeal. They were left with a chilling reminder that not everything is as it seems, and that sometimes the most horrifying experiences can happen in the most unexpected places. The friends' beach vacation turned into a horrifying ordeal, a reminder that not all roommates are welcome. These three tales of terror serve as a chilling reminder of the unexpected dangers that can lurk in the corners of Airbnb rentals. Our narrative began with the tale of the mysterious host, where a seemingly gracious host turned out to be a manipulative trickster with a penchant for violating privacy. It highlighted the importance of vigilance and the need for maintaining personal boundaries, even when you're in the seemingly comforting environment of a home away from home. The second story, The Haunted Apartment, took us on a bone-chilling ride through a rental property that was not just haunted by its past, but also by literal apparitions. This scenario underscored the significance of researching the history of the place you plan to stay in, especially when the price or the location seems too good to be true. The third and final tale, The Unwanted Roommate, served as a stark reminder that sometimes the most terrifying experiences can come from the living rather than the dead. In this case, an unwanted guest turned a peaceful vacation into a living nightmare, emphasizing the necessity of reading reviews and understanding exactly what you're signing up for. These stories, while disturbing, serve an important purpose. They remind us of the importance of safety when using Airbnb or any other home-sharing service. It's crucial to do your homework. Research the location, read the reviews, understand the house rules, and maintain open communication with your host. While these platforms offer a unique and often more personal travel experience, it's essential to remember that you're stepping into someone else's world and it's not always as it seems on the surface. Be cautious, be smart, and don't let your guard down completely. Remember, the next time you book an Airbnb, safety should always be your primary concern. After all, you wouldn't want to become the protagonist of your own horror story.